police reforms demanded across the nation after no charges against a white police officer who choked an unarmed black man to death.
Plus, SU Chancellor Kent Syverud promises no staff cuts in the coming months.
And Billy Joel comes to the Carrier Dome, where you can find all your concert bling up next.
Citrus TV News starts now. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us on this chilly December evening. I'm Hunter Saenz.
And I'm Anna Giles. Anger and outrage across the nation continues after no charges against a white New York City police officer who choked an unarmed black man to death. That's our top story tonight. The outrage continues today over a grand jury's decision not to indict the white New York City police officer whose chokehold killed an unarmed black man, Eric Garner, during an arrest back in July.
That's right, Anna. The grand jury's decision has now set off a wave of protest in New York City and cities across the U.S. Demonstrations in New York have remained peaceful, including with a die-in in which protesters laid motionless on the floor of Grand Central Station.
Elsewhere, activists shouted chants of "This stops today" and "I can't breathe," paying homage to the last few words Garner spoke while in the chokehold.
This comes just after a grand jury in Missouri decided not to indict white police officer Darren Wilson in the shooting death of Michael Brown.
SU Chancellor Kent Syverud has promised his Fast Forward initiative will not cause immediate faculty or staff cuts. He made his comments during the last University Senate meeting of the semester yesterday. During the meeting, the Chancellor also addressed several proposals regarding diversity and transparency at the university after protests and rallies were held by the General Body movement a few weeks ago. The General Body is a collection of student organizations calling for more transparency from the SU administration. And also related to the General Body, the SU Graduate Student Organization passed two measures related to the 18-day Crouse-Hines sit-in. The measures include the formation of an ombudsperson office to act as an intermediary between students and the administration. The other urges the Chancellor to file a report looking into the administration's treatment of General Body members during the sit-in.
Well, it's that time of year again, finals season. For students cramming for exams, many SU study spaces will remain open for extended hours. The Carnegie Library Reading Room and Computer Cluster and both Haven and Brockway study areas will run on a 24-hour schedule, and the Goldstein and Shine Centers will be open until midnight, leaving no excuses for students not to finish strong. And for those planning on going to the Billy Joel concert here at the Carrier Dome, T-shirts for the event are officially on sale. Custom Logo USA is selling custom shirts that say "Welcome Back" on the front and the number 7 on the back in honor of the record-breaking number of shows Joel has played here at the Carrier Dome. Shirts are on sale at Soundgarden in Armory Square or the Custom Logo USA showroom on State Fair Boulevard.
High school students are hoping to fund a trip to Chicago next semester through a crowdfunding website. 16 high school students are seeking to fund the project called Data by the Lake by donations on the CuseFinder website. With 27 days left to donate, the trip is about 12% funded. And the future of Crepe and Gelato Boulevard, an ice cream store on Marshall Street, is still unclear. A for lease sign now sits on the window of the dessert restaurant, but according to the Daily Orange, the store is only closed for the winter, same as its other location in Armory Square. The people who rent the property to Crepe and Gelato also say they don't know why the for lease sign is up.
SUNY campuses across New York State will be adopting the Yes Means Yes policy to combat sexual violence on campus. The SUNY Board of Trustees announced the decision to implement the policy in all 64 SUNY schools, including our neighbor SUNY ESF, on Tuesday. SU's Greek Life has also widely supported the Yes Means Yes campaign.
This Saturday afternoon at 2:30, the Sports Management Club will be holding their annual charity auction in the Dome. Everything from autographed jerseys to bikes to an Elsa doll are up for bidding. According to the organizers of the event, this year's auction will be the biggest one yet. 550. That's a number of items that will go on sale during the basketball game on Saturday to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. One of the co-chairs of this event is Brooke Del Gercio, who said giving back is what SU is all about.
Here in Syracuse, we're here for 4 years. This is our home for 4 years, and it's really important to give back to the community here that I call home.
It's money that will be used to make kids' dreams come true. According to Kate Veely, what could become their biggest year ever could be extra rewarding for the group.
This year our goal is $40,000. $40,000 will grant 4 wishes. The average cost of a wish for Make-A-Wish is $10,000. And $40,000 will put us over the $250,000 mark. We will be able to very proudly say that this organization has raised $250,000 for nonprofits in this area.
What's the hot ticket item this year? A baseball autographed by Derek Jeter from the man's last game at Yankee Stadium.
It's baseball kind of engraved, or encased rather, in it's a glass case with a kind of a mural of Yankee Stadium behind it with a piece of Yankee Stadium dirt.
So come early to the game on Saturday, doors open at 2:30, and make your holiday shopping a little more magical this winter. Nick Papantonis, Citrus TV.
And coming up on Citrus TV News, fallout from the controversial Eric Garner decision.
And an Al-Qaeda branch threatens the life of a U.S. hostage.
We'll have the details after the break.
It's been snowy and it's been chilly. I'll let you know what tonight and the rest of your weekend is going to look like. You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6. We'll be right back.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
A group announces their intentions to convert a former shoe factory into a medical marijuana growing facility in Bombay, New York. The facility would be competing for one of 5 licenses to be given out by the state under the new medical marijuana law. Although town officials were hesitant at first, they fully support the planned operation. Your investigation into the conduct of the Cleveland Police Department has revealed a, quote, pattern of unreasonable and unnecessary use of force. Those were the words of Attorney General Eric Holder, who addressed the media today with the findings. The report reveals Cleveland police excessively used guns, tasers, and even fists when dealing with suspected criminals. And well, if you woke up this morning to watch NASA's launch on TV, you were probably highly disappointed. After nearly 2.5 hours of delays, including wind, an offshore boat, and technical problems, NASA canceled the launch until tomorrow. The Orion spacecraft was designed and built to explore deep space and potentially take human astronauts to Mars. The next possible launch is scheduled for tomorrow morning at 7:05. That is, if there are no further delays.
Outrage across the nation tonight after no charges are brought against a New York City police officer in the killing of Eric Garner. Garner died after being put into a chokehold. The incident has sparked racial tensions because the police officer is white and Garner was black. It comes just days after the Ferguson ruling. This incident has sparked many legal questions about exactly what NYPD police protocols call for. Joining me now is Talking Points moderator Nick Cardona to break it all down. Nick, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Nick, what are the key terms here and what do they mean?
All right, so we have the difference between a chokehold and a takedown. The officer that was charged with, that was going to be indicted, that didn't end up getting indicted, said it was a takedown of Eric Garner after he suspected him of selling loose cigarettes. Now, a chokehold is a tight grip around a person's neck used to restrain him or her by restricting breathing. That is what appears to happen, but a takedown is it's just what it sounds like. It's a maneuver in which someone is brought to the ground from a standing position. That is exactly what happened to Eric Garner. He was standing up, and then obviously the police officer took him down, but by using a chokehold that was evident on the videotape.
Right, but chokeholds aren't allowed within the NYPD, correct?
No, in 1993, that type of maneuver was outlawed by the NYPD, and it was continued to be outlawed by Commissioner Bill Bratton when he came into power after serving in Los Angeles, and he instituted that same law there. So it's definitely a police law on the books that says no chokeholds are to be used in situations like this.
Right, Nick. So what are the parallels between this incident and what just happened in Ferguson? I mean, they were so close together, happening within weeks, days of each other.
Well, a lot of people are drawing comparisons to both cases, but there are some differences. I mean, this is people in Ferguson are protesting the fact that Darren Wilson wasn't indicted, but the fact is that there was no video evidence to this case. Nobody really was paying attention, and there was no cell phone video of what happened. So we really can't make judgments about what happened because we really don't know, except expert testimony by Wilson and by people who were around the scene. But the thing is, with this Eric Garner case, is that there was a cell phone video, clear as day, that you could see the officers using an illegal chokehold and bringing him down to the ground and just watching him pretty much die right in front of their eyes. So that's, it's two distinct cases that I think people are just not looking at the facts. I think people should be more outraged about this decision than the Darren Wilson decision. Nick,
what political fallout do you expect from this? Any reforms in the Justice Department?
Obviously that's what we want to happen with a lot of these. President Obama had an executive order just recently instituting 50,000 new police cameras on body cameras for police officers, and I think that's a step in the right direction, but I think you're going to see a lot more reforms of the Justice Department going forward after these two cases.
Nick, thank you. We'll keep watching this.
An American hostage begs for his life in a video released by Al-Qaeda after American forces raided the terrorist stronghold. 8 other hostages were freed, but 33-year-old Luke Summers and 4 others were moved to a different location before the raid. The terrorist organization said that Summers will be killed if the U.S. government does not meet its unannounced demands. And just 13 months after Super Typhoon Haiyan, Philippine residents are preparing for yet another storm. The town of Tacloban, which was nearly wiped out last year, sits directly in one of the predicted paths of Super Typhoon Hagupit. Residents are already stocking up on food, gas, and other necessities and say they're not going to make the same mistake as last time. And well, the snow was light today, but will it be around this evening? Let's find out with our weather anchor, Jessica Mendelson, who is turning the big 2-0 today. Happy birthday, Jess.
Thank you, Hunter. Well, let's get to the weather today. It was a beautiful day for my birthday. Sun and snow mix, not too much snow, 31 degrees, but with the wind chill, it felt like 19. So really cold out, getting into snowy temperatures, but the wind chill really affecting us. But going into tonight, you're going to see moon and clouds, not really a chance of precipitation. There could be, depending on what temperature we get down to, 30 degrees, low of 28, but the wind chill isn't going to be affecting us going into tonight. If you look at the radar, there's nothing going around. There's a little snow blip right up here, but we shouldn't expect that to be too detrimental to what is going on in Syracuse weather. And current temperatures, Syracuse at 33, right in the middle there. A little bit warmer around the outskirts and going towards the east coast, but that is to be expected during the winter time. And looking at the current surface map, Syracuse looking beautiful, high pressure zones all around us, which is bringing fair weather during these cold times. You can see rain down here below us, but really for us, nothing to worry about. And going into the 5-day forecast, 29 today, 28 tonight, 41 tomorrow, a beautiful day, then 38 in the evening. Saturday it's going to rain, 40 degrees, 26 at night, 32 on Sunday, a beautiful day, 26 at night, and then 36 on Monday.
And when we come back, could difficulty sleeping be linked to your genetics?
And it seems clip art has seen its last days. Don't go away.
I'm in the 9th grade. I'm an A average student, and I'm an athlete working towards a scholarship. And everybody tells me how much potential I have. But I just wish someone would tell me where my next meal is coming from. Katie, how'd I do?
Do you have to be so serious?
Well, I mean, I did like a crazy dance in a movie, if you want me to, like, you know, do a little, no.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Cocina a la temperatura adecuada usando un termómetro para alimentos. Mantén tu familia a salvo. Visita foodsafety.gov/español.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it. I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Have you gotten your flu shot yet? Well, it may not be protective as you think. The CDC says this year's vaccine is less effective against the flu because the virus has mutated. About half of the virus samples collected this year are different than the virus strain in the vaccine. However, the CDC still recommends getting the vaccination. And with smartphones becoming a part of everyday life, the attachment to our phones may be causing neck and spine problems. Text neck, or the angle at which you hold your head while looking at your phone, is becoming a real epidemic. Your head weighs about 10 pounds, but when you look down, it weighs much more, causing tension on the spinal cord. Just another reason for a technology detox. And having trouble sleeping, it may be your genetics to blame. A new study released from Harvard Medical School suggests genetic variations do make a slight difference in a night's sleep. Since sleep is related to a multitude of health issues, the study may ultimately lead to discovering if genetics are related to conditions like diabetes, ADHD, and high blood pressure.
A United Nations report says 2014 could be the hottest year on record. According to the report, temperatures from January to October were an average of 1.3 degrees warmer than average temperatures from 1961 to 1990, and 0.16 degrees warmer than the previous 10 years. Other hottest years on record include 2010, 2005, and 1998. The report has sparked discussion over the long-term effect of global warming. And while those of us who have used Microsoft Word in the late 90s and early 2000s probably have a special place in our hearts for clip art. But just yesterday, Microsoft announced they're doing away with the image program. Microsoft says that with new search engine technology and image availability on the web, clip art is no longer necessary. And Kim Kardashian may have attempted to break the internet, but South Korean pop singer Psy legitimately did. Yesterday, the pop star's hit song Gangnam Style reached close to 2.2 billion views on YouTube, maxing out the site's view counter. According to Google, which owns YouTube, they never expected a video would get that many views, and the code behind the view counter has since been updated.
The Boxing Hall of Fame inducts its 2015 class and find out if the 76ers can finally win a game. That's coming up in sports.
think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 88 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 1,000% increase in the last 40 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextsstopwrecks.org.
20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead.
The International Boxing Hall of Fame sits 25 miles east of Syracuse in Canastota, and this morning the 2015 class was announced. Inductees include former greats Big Daddy Riddick, Bo, Prince Nassim Howard, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, not to be confused with the popular song Bang Bang, and Yoko Fierce Eagle Gushikin. Of course, other honored members of the new class are announcer Jim Lampley and official Steve Smager. Bo held the heavyweight title, Howard was the featherweight champion, and Mancini was the lightweight title holder back in the day. All right, let's go back to the Hill. Syracuse women's basketball hosts Penn State tonight in its second ever Big Ten ACC Challenge. SU has jumped out to a 5-1 start, including a near upset of #1 South Carolina. Brianna Butler and Coach Q ahead of the game.
Chemistry this year, we're very aggressive. We work well together. We're always pushing the ball and looking for each other. I think that's one of the key things for our success this year.
I don't think we've played a clean 40 minutes of basketball yet, but I think that once we get our full complement of players and we get healthy, and obviously hopefully Britt gets back sooner than later, I'd like to see us then when we have our full team and see what kind of balance we have and if we can play more players and be more explosive.
That game tips at 7 p.m. tonight. On the men's side, Syracuse couldn't beat Michigan in Ann Arbor, falling 68-65. That sets up the Dome for a very interesting battle on Saturday. SU hosts former Big East rival St. John's. The Orange has won 9 in a row against the Johnnies, including a 5-point win at MSG last year. But the Red Storm have 4 players scoring in double figures and 3 averaging over 8 rebounds per game. What you could call it is New York's college team against New York City's college team. The game starts at 5:15. Recent Orange alum Michael Carter-Williams plays for the 76ers, the 0-17 76ers. Philadelphia still in search of its first win of the season against Minnesota. As we take a look at the highlights, skip ahead to the fourth quarter. Philadelphia penetrates the paint. Michael Carter-Williams shoots and scores. He had 20 points on the night, part of a very good night for the recent SU alum. Other side of the floor, the headbanded former Cleveland Cavalier Mo Williams knocks it down from 3 and gives the Timberwolves the lead. Other side, Carter-Williams drives, penetrates, kicks it out to KJ McDaniels, who hits the 3. And just like that, the 76ers on top. Again, only a minute to go in the game. Philadelphia looking like they're going to get their first win. That one's sealed off by Carter-Williams' pass to Nerlens Noel. And a 77-point game for Minnesota turns in to an 85-point game for the Sixers, the first win of the season. Back east, it's Brooklyn and San Antonio, and this game came right down to the wire. Last play, fourth quarter, Danny Green hits a 3 to tie it with 2 seconds to go, forcing overtime. Wait, Joe Johnson puts it up off back iron. It is going to overtime between the Nets and the Spurs, the defending champion Spurs. But Darren Williams has something to say about that NBA title last year. Hits the 3, puts the Nets up 91-88. Last chance for the Spurs. A handoff to Manu Ginobili, the sharpshooter, and he can't hit the 3. The ball bounces around on the floor for both teams, and the Nets win their 8th game of the season, beating the defending champions, the Spurs.
Right, so really, really close game there, 95-93. So Manu Ginobili took the last shot there, but should have been Kawhi Leonard.
Well, Kawhi Leonard was the Finals MVP last year. I think it should have been Danny Green in this game. You saw in the highlights he hit a 3 earlier on in that game. He was actually 6 of 11 from beyond the arc with 20 points. So I would have given it to Danny Green, but of course Manu Ginobili, one of those Spurs with 5 titles, you can't go wrong there.
So bringing it back to the college level, who do you see winning this weekend's basketball?
Well, it's always a tough rivalry between Syracuse and St. John's, even though the Orange has dominated recently. I think Syracuse is going to win because the Orange rarely loses 2 in a row. But St. John's is going to be a tough out. They start juniors and seniors who all have very good experience, and they're all very tall.
All right, Skaggs, thank you for joining us. Thanks. After the break, we'll take a look at your wake-up weather, perhaps. We'll be right back.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
Today, about 1 in 5 Americans is living with a disability. Over 50 million people, including many of our friends and neighbors, teachers and co-workers, heroes and leaders. 20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead. Visit disability.gov to see how you can help.
Welcome back. All right, Jessica, so what can we wear to be ready for tomorrow? Is it going to be cold?
Tomorrow's going to be 41, so warmer than it was today, but still make sure you have your jacket with you, but no snow or rain in the future.
All right, well, we'll layer up. Thanks, Jess. Well, tonight we end on a bittersweet note. Our colleague, friend, and the better half of the two of us here at this desk, Anna Giles, is leaving us after tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look at her run here at Citrus TV.
And welcome to Citrus TV News live at 6. I'm Anna Giles. The House doesn't pass the bill by Tuesday. About 40% of the government stops doing business. Marriage is not something most would consider easy, but it has its perks, including a better chance at surviving cancer. Find out how, coming up next. I have a guest here tonight, Ivan Rosales, who was actually a member on the committee who helped select the new chancellor. 13 are injured after a gunman opened fire in a Chicago park last night. That's our top story. Coming up, a can of beer is great with a game, but it's also good for your health. How can that be? We'll have the details next. That's quite a blast from the past there,
some of those
Hunter?
are quite old, aren't they? But
They
hey,
are.
seriously, Anna, you have been a steward in this industry. You're going to go on to do big things. You're going to Southern Illinois, as I've heard, so big market for after graduating, so all the best of luck.
Thank you, Hunter. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for watching.